Hi, everyone. My name is Pankaj Yawale. I'm a senior principal architect at ZoomInfo. Today, I'm going to be talking about building data reliability into your data pipelines. Um, so just to give you a high-level overview of the data processing landscape that we operate on at ZoomInfo. So we gather about like 1.5 billion data points on a daily basis to derive insights on 500 million contact profiles and over 100 million company profiles. So the data product that we build out of those data points is being leveraged by several tens of thousands of customers for their B2B intelligence needs. Because of the nature of the data that we serve, we have to maintain SLAs and also maintain the quality of the data. So there are a lot of challenges that we have to go through in order to process data at scale, or which has a really huge volume on a regular basis. The structure of the data is also very complex because of the originality of the data from where we source it. We cannot always structure the entire data across all the attributes. So we still have to maintain some of the attributes using like deep nesting, which makes the processing, not just the regular processing, but other ancillary processing on that data very difficult. So one of those ancillary processing that we have to do is to perform data quality checks on that data. So we have a tool called Telmai, which is a data quality plus data observability tool that we have hosted. And then these are the patterns using which you can use either Telmai or any other data quality tool within your data ecosystem. So I just basically broke it down into 3 patterns: reactive, preventive, and proactive. The reactive pattern is straightforward. So you basically process all your data and then have your data quality to perform data quality checks on that data, either using standard policies and rules, or you can also create custom rules with the knowledge of the data that we have. The problem with that approach is that you find issues after your data products are fully built. So you will then have to have another process to mitigate that situation when the quality turns out to be really bad. And it can take like really long time to go through that process and either reprocess your data or take further actions. In the preventive pattern, what you can do is you can have the data pipeline or the individual stages of the pipeline trigger a flow within Telmai to basically perform quality checks on the input data that the pipeline is about to process. And then wait for Telmai to process that data and then get a signal from Telmai, depending on what's the quality score, right? So you can configure the threshold at which Telmai will basically give you a green signal or not. And then accordingly, the pipeline can make a decision whether to proceed or stop the pipeline or pause the pipeline. This is definitely better than the reactive approach, where you're not basically letting the issues pass all the way to your data product, but it is disruptive in a bad way, because then if the thresholds are not meeting the requirement, then the pipeline will basically just pause or be on hold, and then somebody will have to look into it and take some actions. The third pattern is proactive, where what we are primarily using today and putting this pattern into more and more pipelines. So we can have the input data, whether it be to the pipeline or a stage of the pipeline, run through Telmai. And then Telmai has something called data binning policy, which I'm also going to get into more detail in the next slide. So it can basically separate out good data versus bad data. And it does that by using out-of-the-box policies, as well as any custom policies and rules that you create and configure in Telmai. It can perform those checks at the record level. And that's how it separates basically records into good and bad buckets or storages. And then you can basically link the pipeline or the next stage of the pipeline into the location where Telmai is putting the good data. So with that approach, what you can do is you can just have your pipelines continuously running without any manual intervention. And then you can have another process to basically analyze the bad data so that you can fix the issues at the origin of the sources that you're acquiring from to mitigate that. But using the other approach, what you can do is you can still have your pipelines running. You can still build your data products with the good quality data. It's just that you will probably miss out on the bad data, which is a good thing anyway. So this is high level. So how Telmai does is basically you connect your whatever the data source is. Either it could be an input to the pipeline, it could be an intermediate data stage of the pipeline that you can connect to Telmai. And you can do it at every single stage, input and all the way to the output, where Telmai would basically separate out good and bad data. And then you can just let the good data flow through your system all the way to the downstream consumer, whether that could be your customer facing applications or something else, or maybe your BI dashboards. So Telmai policy, the data quality being capability that they have, it's very easy to use. You just have to configure once, connect to data sources, and it does the job for you. So we have been able to identify quite a lot of critical data quality issues using this pattern, where we didn't have to take any manual actions or interrupt any of the existing pipelines. That's all I had to share today. Thank you very much.